If you're ready to make card making simple, fun, and stress-free, this kit is for you. I'm Catherine from Catherine Pooler Designs, and in this video, we're going to look at our Flutters and Blooms Crafting Made Easy kit. It gives you everything you need to create 25 handmade cards, all in one convenient zip pouch you can take anywhere. You'll find our Flutters and Thanks stamp set with 5 beautiful butterfly stamps and a mix of thank you sentiments. You'll also get a midnight ink pad, which is archival and perfect for crisp, clean images. We even included an insert with best practices so you'll get the best results. And then to add color, you'll get 3 of our dye-based mini ink pads in Tiara, Aquatini, and Flirty Fuchsia. A fun, bright combo. You'll also find a pack of white cardstock and a clear acrylic block so you can start stamping right away. And in this video, I'm going to show you several simple card ideas using only the supplies in your kit so you can see just how easy it is to create beautiful handmade cards. And then if you want to take your cards up a notch, I'm going to show you a few add-on products that can bring extra texture and dimension to your designs. So let's get into it. First thing to do is take your stamp set out of the package, remove the acetate sheet, and then those photopolymer stamps are, well, they're not sticky, but they cling to the acrylic block and they cling to the acetate sheet. So just peel that stamp off, lay it on your table, and pick it up with your acrylic block. When I have a large stamp like this and a small ink pad, I like to lay my stamp down on the table and then apply the ink to the stamp. This way I can carefully make sure I'm going across the whole stamp, getting even coverage, and then I stamp and I hold it, just pressing firm but light, let that ink sink into the paper, and then pull it away. In my other Crafting Made Easy videos, I talked a little bit more about practicing on scratch paper before going to your good stamping cardstock. That'll help you save on your cardstock when you make mistakes. The Flutters and Thanks stamp set, I love for the sentiment. Well, I love this whole stamp set, but the sentiments are really great because you have a thanks and a thank you, and then you have secondary stamps to go with it. Now to clean your stamps, it's really easy with the dye-based inks. You just need a wet or a slightly damp paper towel or a chamois, and then just wipe your stamp off. And then when you're stamping on scratch paper, you're seeing me practice right here. Stamp on scratch paper to make sure the stamp is clean. You got it clean in all the little crevices and details of the stamp, and then you can go into your next color. So I went from Flirty Fuchsia to Tiara, and now I'm doing Aquatini, and I love how these colors work together. I didn't really talk about the Catherine Pooler Designs color wheel in this video, but definitely download that from the Catherine Pooler Designs shop. It's going to show you where our colors lie on the color wheel and how to put them together. And this is a triad color combo that came from that color wheel. And then when I was practicing, I missed a little spot on my butterfly. That's why I really recommend practicing and testing out your stamps before you go to your good stamping cardstock. Helps you not waste that cardstock too much. I added my largest butterfly in Aquatini and then my smaller ones in Tiara and Flirty Fuchsia, adding in my sentiment. And I'm adding some more Aquatini large butterflies off of the paper and using a scratch paper behind it so that I don't get ink on my work surface. But I'm stamping these off and it just makes it look like a natural swarm of butterflies. And it also gives a more finished feel when you have some of your images stamped off of the paper like this when you're doing a background. So we've just made 3 simple 1-layer cards using only the supplies in this kit. Go ahead and recreate these designs exactly as I made them or switch things up. Mix the colors, stamp the images in different places, and come up with your own unique designs. If you're ready to take your designs up a notch, add on the ink blending brushes. We're going to use them to do ink blending on stamps. So I'm taking my Flirty Fuchsia mini ink pad, inking the center of the butterfly, and then doing Aquatini on the edges. I'm going to use my ink blending brush to blend the 2 colors together. This will soften the edges and create another color where Aquatini and Flirty Fuchsia meet. This is one of my favorite techniques because you get such unique looks, and then you get other ink colors, and it just stretches your supplies so much. Try blending lots of different colors. One rule of thumb to think about is choosing colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. So don't forget to head over to catherinepooler.com and download that as a free resource. Here I'm doing tiara in the center and then aquatini on the edges of that butterfly. Mini ink pads are really great for this technique as well because you can just ink up a small part of the stamp very easily. You can do this technique with our large full-size ink pads also, but the mini ink pads make it really easy. And if you don't have the ink blending brushes, no worries. Just use this design idea and stamp in one solid color. The next add-on is the Flutters and Thanks dies. And this includes a die that cuts out each butterfly and the thank you and the thanks. You can keep them tabbed together, or if you get an inexpensive pair of jewelry snips, that will clip them apart. And then you'll be able to die cut each butterfly, and it really adds some dimension to your cards when you die cut them. So for the first butterfly, we're going to do that ink blending on stamps again with Aquatini and Flirty Fuchsia. This is actually one of my favorite color combinations for blending on stamps. We're going to use a little crafter's tape to secure the coordinating die, run it through the Big Shot, and you have a die cut butterfly. If you don't have a die cutting machine, you can start out with a sidekick. It's a small version of the Big Shot, and it's great for travel, for taking to crops, or for getting started. And the smaller dies in this set are going to work great with that. Next technique, we're going to add a little ink blended anchor point for the butterfly, and we're going to put those ink blending brushes to use again. So load your brush up on the mini ink pad, just blend it on there, picking up ink, and then go to some scratch paper and blend it on the scratch paper. This will remove a little bit of the excess ink so that it's not so harsh when you go straight to your cardstock. And then with a very light hand, start in the center and then get a little more heavy-handed as you go, and then lighten up again as you fade out. And you have a nice little halo of ink. It's a great anchor point for your main image, and it's a great way to up-level your cards. I added a foam square to the back of my butterfly. This is another great add-on. They're very inexpensive and they're going to go a long way. They give extra dimension. And then I stamped my sentiments. With the secondary sentiments in this set, a very light pressure when you stamp is going to be best. Practice again on scratch paper. I say that all the time, but it really does help. If you push that stamp down too hard, your photopolymer is going to spread out a little bit and your stamping might not be as crisp. Next up is a design that you can absolutely do with the 3 ink colors that come in the kit, but if you'd like to add a couple more colors to expand your design options, I like Party Dress and In the Park for this collection. All 5 of these colors are from our party collection of inks. They're vibrant, very highly saturated colors, and they were all formulated for Catherine Pooler Designs. Using the same saturation level so that color coordination is a breeze. I wanted to jazz up this card design a bit, so I grabbed my Midnight ink pad. I'm using my full size here. It is the same pad as the mini, it's just a different size. I'm adding in some polka dots next to each of the butterflies, and in this Flutters and Thanks stamp set, there are several smaller stamps that are great for patterns and backgrounds. For the next card, we're going to up level again with the Secret Garden stencil. Load up your brush with Party Dress, ink blend off on scratch paper, and then go to your card base. Lay the Secret Garden stencil over your card base and ink blend more Party Dress ink. As I continue to layer, that color is going to build up and get darker. Dye-based inks like this are layerable. They're translucent, and as you build that color up, you can get multiple shades. So we're stretching our supplies even more. Then I'm grabbing an In the Park butterfly that I've previously stamped and die cut, added my sentiment, and the card is complete. Before we wrap up this video on Flutters and Blooms Crafting Made Easy Kit, let's make one more card. I'm using the ink blending brush and the Secret Garden stencil. I'm starting with Party Dress and ink blending just about half the card. I'm starting heavier at the top and lightening up as I go down. And then I'm going to ink blend in the park, starting from the bottom and ink blending toward the center. As I go toward the center, I'm getting lighter and lighter, and I'm going to stop before those two colors meet in the middle. Since red and green are across from each other on the color wheel, if you blend them together, they're going to make brown. So if you head over to catherinepooler.com and grab that color wheel, if you don't have it already, it's going to show you where all of our colors fall on the color wheel. And then watch our videos on YouTube. We teach color theory. We pull that color wheel out in almost every video. It's really important you feel confident when it comes to color. And with these complementary colors looking so beautiful, a simple butterfly and sentiment stamped in the middle finishes this card off. Our Crafting Made Easy kits are now available at catherinepooler.com. They are while supplies last, so get in there and grab yours. They're at a fantastic price, and they're perfect for crafting on the go, new stampers, craft nights, or just crafting in front of the TV. Thanks for watching. I hope you'll subscribe to our channel and come back and see us again. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you again really soon.